You're going to love our guest coming up. He's got a great interview coming up. Excellent guest. Really top notch. I'm just going to say that so that can be in there. Chris knows what to do with it. I just got back from I went outside. I went and saw someone in person.
I was very confused when you were telling me about that because you were like, someone hit me up and wanted to meet up. And I'm like, in Nixa, Missouri, they did that?
No, it's a friend that, okay, so can you believe that I'm old enough to have been failing out of college 17 years ago? I haven't seen this person in 17 years.
That's like a whole adult.
I still don't think the math works. I know.
You probably did the math wrong somewhere because that seems impossible.
No, it's possible. 2005, or wait, was that? Did I do the math? I did the math wrong, didn't I? 5, 15, no, 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. That's insane, actually.
It's 2023. That's when you were a freshman?
Yeah, in college.
Wow.
I worked at the Geek Squad at Best Buy, and this person worked with me at the Geek Squad. His name is Roger. Hi, Roger. He might listen to our podcast now because he knows we have a podcast. Because, of course, when I see someone, they're like, how's life been? I'm like, I have a podcast.
And then they never ask to hang out again.
Yeah, right. Oh, you have a podcast. Okay, well, I actually got to be somewhere. I had coffee, if you can't tell. There's no amount of substance in the world that could calm me down right now because I have so much caffeine in me.
Did you like hanging out with a real human being outside of your house?
It was nice. I mean, I was checking threads the whole time. But like,
serious?
Other than that, no, I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness. No, it was nice. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, that's the topic for the day, obviously.
It really is.
Yeah.
For the day. Maybe not tomorrow, but for today at least. Okay, tell me what you really think, because your online persona is like everything sucks and but like, what do you really think? Yeah, basically.
Okay. Well, hang on. So a little bit of context, because people might be listening to the episode later. Threads came out yesterday, which is a new Twitter clone from, I guess they say it's an Instagram app. So from Instagram / Facebook / Meta.
From Meta.
From Meta, whatever they call themselves. It's exactly like Twitter, except... I guess there's no except. It's exactly like Twitter.
It's exactly like Twitter.
Yeah. I actually want to hear your thoughts first. I don't want to go first. Yes.
So thoughts. One, Twitter's been around a long time. How is the Threads app so nice? And it's like, it makes it so obvious how the Twitter UX, even just like the mobile app on iOS, it's just so like not nice. I don't feel good when I use it. So they nailed that part where like everything about it just feels more polished. Like when I send a tweet or whatever they're called, it just works. I don't have to like go to the thing where I'm like send anyway. Maybe that's my own problem. Maybe you can turn that off. I don't know. But like all the little animations and like you press buttons and they vibrate and everything just feels good. That's my first impression. I don't know if that's enough.
It's funny because I just posted almost the exact opposite.
Oh, really?
Because, okay, so I definitely agree from a UX point of view. It's much better. There's like not all this like clutter with, you know how if you like open a tweet on Twitter, it's like a full like analytics dashboard below the tweet. It's like views, likes,
yeah.
bookmarks.
There's so much stuff. Yeah.
It's like there's like 3 rows of stuff there. So there's definitely a lot of clutter on Twitter. But I was using both the apps side by side, and I expected the Threads app to be like super polished and snappy feeling. But at least for me, I'm using the iOS. I don't know if there's an Android app, but use the iOS app. Everything was slower. Like refreshing for new tweets was slower.
Really?
Loading new tweets was slower. Even sending a tweet. So these aren't, I'm not going to say all these are performance issues. I think they're a mix of some things are like literally a little bit slower and other things, they're not doing tricks that make it feel faster. Because I've noticed like when you send, when you like create a post on Threads, there's actually a little spinner where it's like sending.
Yeah, it's not send immediately. It's, yeah. Why did they do that? They could have just made it look like it did, right?
Yeah. So on Twitter, when I post it, it looks like it worked right away, even though maybe it takes like a long time to send the background. I have no idea. So there's like a few small things like that where I'm like, actually, I think the Twitter one is faster or like feels snappier, but I think it's hard to tell because, like I said, there's two dimensions. There's like the shitty UX of Twitter, and then there's like the actual like what it actually performs like. I think the Twitter. I'm surprised. I thought Threads would be like super snappy and like really show what it looked, because like they have no legacy. It's like it's a new app, so there's no like.
I can't believe we have the opposite take here. I really felt like the app feels better. Maybe it's because on Twitter I have the thing with Twitter Blue or whatever where when you send a tweet, there's a window where you can undo.
I hate that.
Yeah, I hate it that so much. Everyone says you can turn it off. I thought I did, but it still doesn't.
Yeah, all the Twitter Blue features are like negative features that like make everything worse.
Yeah, they're worse. Yeah. So okay, so I have more thoughts. The UX I thought felt really nice. I like that like when you're on the feed, you can just tap the profile picture and add the person. That's been really great.
Oh yes, the UX is fantastic across the board. Yes, the follow button on the feed is great.
My other thought is like, at first it's like, oh, how is another Twitter clone? Are we ever really going to all switch? But then it's like when you think about Meta and Instagram having 1 billion users, and you think about Twitter never even getting there and how many bots are on Twitter, it's like, is the audience just so much bigger potentially that it makes sense to be there because there's more people to connect with? I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's definitely obviously they have the best shot because, you know, they just have this giant, the ability to get like, you know, millions of people to sign up very easily. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think this one has the best chance of anything, and it feels that way. Especially, I think they did a few early things right. I actually think this whole like invite approach that everyone just takes by default is actually a negative thing for stuff like this.
Oh, for sure.
Because I think it creates just fake hype, and it also like kills momentum at the same time. If you remember, like Clubhouse was kind of like that, and then like Blue Sky also did the same thing. So I feel like actually the whole like mindset around like create exclusivity with invite, I feel like that's kind of like a dated thing. I don't think that really makes sense anymore.
Do they do it for that reason? I don't want to interrupt you, but also do they do it for the hype, or do they do it because they can't handle an immediate load?
Yeah, I think there's both, but for some things, there's definitely like people do definitely think about the hype. I think that's definitely an aspect. I mean, I think the Clubhouse one was not for like scales. I remember Clubhouse was very much like you feel bad that you're not in here and everyone's hanging out and having a good time, like the FOMO thing.
Like Abercrombie and Fitch or something. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Hollister. I don't know. Those clothing companies that like make you feel bad when you go in the store.
They do?
You didn't do that in high school? I don't know.
Remember the stores, but I don't. They make you feel bad when you go in?
You feel bad about yourself. Like, look at all these amazing people on the pictures. And it's like, I wish I were one of those amazing people. You didn't feel that way.
I definitely did. I get what you're talking about. Plus, they had like the people staying outside the store that were like...
Yeah, they were jerks. They were literally like trying to be jerks to you. They were trained that way.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, exactly. It's like that. So I think they did that right, because now it's just like, yes, everyone's in there overnight, and it's a very special moment.
Yep.
I actually am wondering, and the other thing is it feels, and this is a pro and a con. So it felt, and this is what like all the other apps failed at, Blue Sky, whatever, you would go in and a few of the people would be there and would feel kind of exclusive, but it would feel totally dead because there would be like no activity. Because you know, if you only know 20 people there, how much content can they possibly be posting? So the pro on Threads is they very intentionally made sure the app felt alive. That's why yesterday I felt like, oh, it's so alive, like everyone's using it, like, you know, it feels like it's actually going to go somewhere. That's a pro because all other apps feel dead. But the con is they did it by filling your feed with garbage. Like at least my feed is all just like really random stuff that I do not want to see.
Hey, you're not the only person that said that. I've seen a lot of people say like the feed is just, it's not the people I'm following. That's not the case for me. Maybe I just followed a lot more people, but all I see is stuff from people I'm following. Like it feels like tech Twitter pretty instantly.
Oh, wow.
Not like when I first opened the app, obviously it was just like random.
Yeah.
But I pretty quickly, after I followed, I don't know, 20, 30 people, I feel like that's mostly what I'm seeing.
I think for me, it feels like their algorithm has no idea what to show me. So they're giving me like the stuff that works well on average. And it's just like, it's like a ton of like random celebrity gossip / like Instagram influencer, like thirst traps type stuff. just stuff that I like never consume. And it was actually kind of interesting for me to see because I'm like, oh, this is like what the average person does on social media, like the type of stuff they talk about, etc.
Yeah.
I'm like constantly refreshing because I'm like looking for like the 1 out of 10 posts that are from someone that I know. If I from
really,
my own bubble.
It's so bizarre. I feel like we've had complete opposite experiences.
Yeah, it's interesting. So maybe I need to follow more people. That might be it.
Well, now I got to know how many people you're following. and I just got to open the Threads app because I've hit the Threads app like 100 times in the last 12 hours. Why is it so like, are we all just starving for something else?
It's just like the first day of school thing, you know, it just feels like,
yeah,
it's just like, it just feels good when we're all doing something together. I know you're not a big pop culture person, but the thing I always go back to, which I don't think will ever happen again, was when Game of Thrones was airing and literally every single person, every single week was doing the exact same thing. And we had this like shared topic with literally almost everyone that we could just talk about. It's like the weather.
It's like the thing we're all talking about on Twitter right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Threads, which is funny.
Yeah.
It's like this weird moment. Is it just going to fade though? Like, do you have any like? I don't know. Is it even interesting to talk about this anymore? Like, will this one make it? Like, it doesn't matter. Is it just like it may or may not? But who cares?
Yeah, I have no idea. I think they really need to introduce, at least because of my experience, like I'm like really craving a less wide algorithm. Like,
yeah.
I actually think that Twitter, and people have different experiences with this too, but with the way that I use Twitter, the Twitter For You tab, which is the algorithmic feed, works fantastic for me. I like mostly see stuff from people I know, and then I see interesting stuff from people adjacent. And I think that's like the level of discovery I want right now. Like, I mean, if I just open it right now, like scrolling down, I have like first 20 or so posts before I see like someone that I recognize talking about something in my bubble.
So I have no idea how many people you're following. You don't even see that. I didn't realize it's not visible. I don't see anywhere where it says how many people someone follows, just how many people follow them.
I'm following 54.
How do you know that?
So if I open it up and go to the following tab, it like says it in really small
following
numbers.
Tab. There's a following
tab? If you like hit followers and then you can switch it to following.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm following 64.
Okay, so it's like, I don't know what it is then.
Similar. Interesting. Oh, I forgot to say, I hate Threads because you have more followers than me. I can't live in a world where you have more social influence than me. It just hurts me to my core.
Yeah, I got to make sure I stay ahead. I got you on this one.
I just replied to one of your things. Like, why are people following you? Seriously, why are people following you?
Because they love me, Adam. They love me more than they love you. When we start at the same time, this is a perfect measure of who is so liked more.
If we were starting at the same time, you would blow me out of the water. Oh man, you actually have a consistent personality, even if it's being a jerk to people. But.
You know, ever since I've established that, it's only been good. Like, I feel like it's only been positive because now I can say whatever I want and no one like takes it.
Yeah, I feel like you are living your best life. Like, you've got this freedom that I don't feel like I have.
Definitely recommend it to everyone. Establish early that you're going to be mean and then no one is surprised or expects anything more.
I can't even think of stuff though. I try to like think of mean replies just to channel my inner Dax. I can't. It's not in me.
Just give me your password for a week.
Can we do that?
Just switch and see if people notice.
Can we please? Can I tweet on yours too?
That's funny. Yeah, we can just switch and see.
That would be so fun. Well, now everyone that listens to this is gonna know.
Yeah, but
that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
What was I gonna say? I think maybe the other, because I don't know what the algorithm takes into account. Like, because for me, it's possible it might be looking at my Instagram network, seeing the people that my Instagram network follows and then showing me that stuff, because I can't really explain this stuff otherwise. Like,
I don't have, it's a brand new Instagram account for me. That's what it is.
That might be
I don't have anything for it to pull from there. So it's just going off who I follow on Threads.
Yeah, I have like
interesting.
I have like 50 Instagram people that I follow, and they're all just like really old friends from high school. So
yeah. So I do actually have a private Instagram account where I've got like a little bit of like family friends connections. And I bet on that one, if I had started with that one, I would have a weird feed right now because it's from like 15 years ago and I was a very different person.
Yeah, maybe I should have started fresh. I just don't like fragmenting stuff, but oh well.
Why do I feel so guilty like mentioning Threads on Twitter? I feel like there's this group of people that are like, we're not leaving Twitter, and they get so hostile. But like, we can be on both. Can I be on both until I'm not on one?
Are there people being hostile?
Not hostile, but just it's kind of like the trope of like, okay, just like you left for Mastodon.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't leave for Mastodon. I did try Blue Sky a little bit.
Nice.
I left after like 2 days.
Yep.
And I'm going to try Threads for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, the last thing is, obviously they have way more momentum than everyone else, but they still have the fundamental problem of, are the people typically creating the content, are they able to make the shift over? So one, they might not want to because they already have a big audience and wherever they are. They might not have it in another place. Two, even if you want to, living in both worlds is like such a pain because your only options are post the same thing on both, which feels like really fake. I don't I don't really want to do that. Or come up with twice the amount of content you normally have.
I'm honestly feeling a little overwhelmed this morning because speaking specifically to the podcast, a little meta commentary here. Meta. It like just thinking about posting like when we have a new episode, it's like, okay, we're posting the episodes to YouTube now. And then like we should do some shorts off the YouTube video. And then we should do like, we got to tweet it. And now do we have to thread it? And then like we should put it on Reels, I guess. And TikTok. Literally, there's like 8 places we probably should put stuff so people see it. It's just overwhelming though. You'd have to have a full-time, like someone doing it full-time to stay on top of all of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or more than one person.
And that's just like posting the same content across both and like trying to like genuinely make different content. So it's like, oh, I have a good thing I want to post. Do I post it on Twitter because I want a lot of people to see it? Or do I like invest it into threads because I'm trying to like do something there? It just sucks to be split in this way. So I feel like unless it feels like a lot of creators are able to figure that out and move over and grow on threads, I don't really see it switching over because ultimately all social networks are the same. Like 99% of the content comes from a small percent of people. And that's the people you have to win over. And there's like no one's really, it's like really hard to do that. Very difficult.
So that's threads.
Next topic.
Let's talk about something else. Yeah. Anything else, please. I wonder, here's one thing. So I just got out of this coffee with Roger. It was a good time. And I realized halfway through that it devolved into a therapy session where he was giving me therapy. Why do I do that with every single person? What is wrong with me?
Well, like, what were you telling him about?
That's the thing. I always, like, no matter who I'm talking to, haven't spoken to you in 17 years, or I talk to you every day like you, I devolve into the same topics, which is like, life is hard. It's hard to have a family in 2023. Is there a reason I keep jumping to that?
I don't know. I think it's like, I don't know. It's probably easy to talk about because it's like the most relevant thing in your life.
Okay. It's just easy. I think I'm socially anxious.
Talk about the weather.
Do you feel like you're socially anxious? Talk about the weather. Do you feel like when you talk with people that you don't talk with a lot, do you feel kind of like anxious inside?
Yes.
Like, yes. And you immediately jump to stuff you shouldn't probably talk about?
That's not my reaction to it, but yes, I'm like fundamentally I'm an introvert, even though I've like trained myself to like get better at not being like not letting that limit me in a bunch of ways. Yep. But in my core, I'm always going to feel, and everyone feels uncomfortable, but I feel like I feel more uncomfortable than the average person.
Yes.
So I definitely feel that.
But I genuinely love interacting with people.
Me too.
It drains me, and I do feel like I just want to be in my like office alone for a little while.
It takes me a while before I really feel natural with someone. Like I have to like hang out with them a bunch of times before I like can start to really be myself. Otherwise, I feel like I'm like thinking about everything too much.
How you're coming off and what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I feel like my brain just goes blank. I feel like I like, don't know what to say. And like, I'm not as quick as I normally am. And it just feels a little different. Here's a funny story though. So I read this book. I mean, we've all read it, I think, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Obviously one of like the classics. Have you read it?
I've got it in my Audible. I've never listened to it.
Yeah, it's like a classic. It's like everyone's listened to it. The summary of it is it's basically just a bunch of stuff you probably already know, but what's interesting about the book is the author has very specific examples of people doing certain things and what crazy outcomes came out of doing very simple things. So like they just talk about how to interact with people and how to like make everyone feel good when they have an interaction with you. And it's really basic stuff like really pay attention to what they're saying, like ask them questions about things, like different ways to relate to people. So I read this book, so it was very top of mind, and I was like, okay, whenever I go out, I'm gonna like try to keep this in mind, like practice it. And the weekend that I was reading the book, Liz's sister, this is before me and Liz were dating, she came to town for Liz's birthday, so we did like a birthday dinner. So I hung out with Liz's sister for the first time, and like we were spending a lot of time together throughout the night. And I was just I was hitting every single bullet point in the book. And I was like, wow, like, okay, this is working, and I can do all this. And it was a funny thing for me.
This is working.
Yeah. And then, you know, I went home and I like didn't think much of it. And then next week, Liz messaged me and goes, she was like, wow, Dax, like Marion, her sister, was named Marion. She's like, Marion, like, really liked you. She had like such great things to say. Like she went out of her way to tell me that, you know, she had a really great time hanging out with me. And I was like, okay, I have to have something to confess. so then I told her, like, I just used all these tricks on her, and Marion actually just found it really funny. Like it was like a funny situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that stuff works and it is helpful. It's one of those things that they're all obvious, but it's very easy to forget. So sometimes I like refresh my memory on the things in it.
Yeah. Have you used any of them on me?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think to some degree, some of it has been embedded in my head, but if you literally read it, like the next week of your life is just going to be like especially good socially. It's like a trick because you just have all this stuff fresh in your head, but then like, you know, you forget about it over time. Yeah.
For a minute there, I started just like imagining that like our entire relationship is a lie and that you just like made me like you somehow by using a bunch of mind tricks. that was a fun little rabbit hole my brain went down. Like, did Dax just sucker me into being his friend?
Yeah. Well, it's not. I guess they are tricks. It's funny though in the Liz and Marion situation because they're very close, and Liz always says like, yeah, if Marion didn't have a good impression of you, like, I don't think we would have ever, like, me and Liz would have ever like gotten together. Like that.
Oh
like,
wow!
Her opinion.
So that was big
very
stakes.
Influential. Yeah, I know. Thank God for that book. Whew.
Huh? Got it. You're married now because of it.
Know. Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna listen to
one
it.
of my 10 books.
I'm already married, but one of your 10 bucks. That reminds me. Liz is coming on next week, and that's a good segue to say like, hey, if you listen to this podcast and you would like us to have somebody on, well, we would love your ideas. We're soliciting guest ideas. I don't know if we are. We probably already have a lot of ideas. I just thought we could ask the audience who they'd like to hear from.
Yeah.
Also, if you're listening, you should give us a review. I hear that's important. Would you please review the podcast? No, I've never really asked for that. And I feel like 30 some in, you know, we should probably ask.
Yes.
Please do that.
Please review it. Unless it's going to be a bad review. If it's going to be a bad review,
we don't want your
it.
bad feedback. Yeah. We already know all the bad things about it. So don't tell us.
Yeah. And everyone else does too. So you don't need to inform them either.
Right.
We have some,
maybe that's why we don't have any reviews. Sorry.
We have a few people scheduled. So Liz is, I'm going to do a thing with Liz, I think on Monday. I talked to the Linear co-founder and he's down to come on. I'm really excited about that one because I like incessantly talk about Linear all the time. It's like the foundation of the way I think about all software right now.
Yep.
And I'm always like mentioning them on Twitter, and I wonder if they find it annoying. But I'm excited to have him on and talk about the history of the company, because it's going to be, because like they built yet another project management tool. So I kind of want to know, like, they picked the least unique idea ever, but they just focused on execution. So I want to hear about that. And then too, I want to hear about like the type of stuff they care about in terms of building a web app, because my whole thing, and we've talked about this a bunch, where I feel like the stuff that us as a tech community care about overall is kind of irrelevant. And hearing from someone that's executed on a really good product and like what they actually care about. Yeah. I think we just don't hear from that as much. So I'm excited for that one.
So I feel like Linear is like the gold standard in the community. Everyone just knows it's like this amazing app that was executed so perfectly. But I feel like as a founder, is he kind of low key on purpose? I didn't know who the Linear founder was.
The whole company is super low key. Like, you don't.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that works at Linear. Yeah. I mean, they're probably pretty small, I guess.
They are very small. They're definitely a unicorn valuation, I think. Yeah, I mean, the whole explanation is they're just like way too successful to give a shit about anything else.
I love that. Someday I want to be so successful I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, that's my theory. But yeah, they're very low key. But I would love for them to be a little less low key, because anything they say should have a lot of influence.
They know how to build apps. I think I should get to interview Liz. I think that should be a thing. You're not going to be objective.
I was asking Liz, like, would it be funnier? I just go by what's funnier. Like, would it be funnier if I did it, or would it be funnier if Adam did it?
I'm just teasing. But did she say me?
You're so needy. You have your own wife. Go be needy with her.
I am very needy with my wife.
I don't know. We'll talk about it, because I think maybe we can even do one of each. But she had it's funny. I don't know if you saw me say this yesterday. She said, "Oh yeah, I listened to that podcast where you and Adam talked about being a founder and what it's like." it was good, but you guys didn't talk about anything important.
Nice.
I was like, well, okay, you want to come on, then you can talk about the stuff that really matters.
That's amazing. Have you ever been in a stage in your career where you hate when everyone's on vacation, like all your teammates, like you're just so excited about work every day that when people start like ducking out for the summer, you're just like frustrated because you just want to be doing stuff with them? Have you ever had that? I definitely had that.
Yes.
In some early staffing
Yeah,
days.
for sure. Because like my work is a big part of my social life. So when it slows down, like around the holidays, I mean,
holidays, same thing. Yeah.
I used to hate the like the December, Christmas, New Year holiday because everyone would just be gone. I don't have a big family, so it's not like I was doing like a bunch of family things for weeks. And I would just be like by myself for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then everyone would come back.
Isolating.
My work friends, my like normal friends, like everyone would just be gone away.
Yep.
And that sucked. But now I get to hang out with Liz's family, who's like very stimulating, so I don't mind anymore. But there's a period of time where I was like, I hate it. I hate vacation time.
Yeah. How do you, I mean, SST is just 3 people.
Mhm.
How do you guys do like time off? Like, do you guys make each other take time off? Do you take off normal amounts of time, less, more?
No, we're super toxic. So nobody takes
You
off.
just never
We
take
have our
off.
Sunday
Yeah.
meetings. Like, yeah, we're like the worst people in the world.
Sunday meetings.
We're very we're trying to have the most toxic work culture possible.
Well, at least it's just the 3 of you. You're not like putting that on other people. How
Well, that's
upset
the
can
goal.
people be
I want to
if
force people
the
into
3
our toxic work culture.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
When people talk about this stuff, that's how I feel. They're like, you can like force people into like feeling bad. And so I think, so what do we do? So, I mean, everyone's in kind of different situations. Like Frank has 2 kids. So he works a lot and he's always juggling his kid stuff. So they don't like really take a lot of time off because it's just like a lot to like, take your kids and they're very small. So they're not really at that phase where they're taking vacations. Jay will do trips, but it's kind of funny because like I'll have no idea he's somewhere else. And then I'll randomly have a meeting or we'll have like a call and he'll have a different background and he'll be like, oh yeah, I've been in Mexico City for the past week. And just like, it has no impact. Like,
Some of those nomads.
Yeah.
I get nothing done if I'm not in my office.
Same. I
Like,
only
I can't
work in my
like
desk.
travel and work. Yeah. I always take a laptop and I'm like, I'm going to get something done. No, I just can't.
No, yeah.
It's impossible.
I only get work done on my desk and I've been that way for so long and I'm not going to change. And I don't care. I don't care what people say. I don't care about that nomad thing. I don't get working in coffee shops. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why do you want to work somewhere where you're more cramped and you have a worse setup? Not for me.
Yeah, not for me. And I've seen this circulating a little bit on Twitter, like that everybody buys MacBooks and docks them most of the time. That is kind of dumb. Like Mac Minis, Mac Studio, they're super powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to deal with all the people will say, oh, but you can just take the laptop if you need to. But like, again, I get nothing done.
I think people just like the optionality. They're like, but what if I want to go whatever, even if 99% of the time they don't take advantage of it? But yeah, just commit to something. Commit to working at your desk.
Yeah.
And commit to getting nothing done out of your desk.
I don't think enough people like invest in their like home work setup or just like offices. I feel like I've gone really over the top with my office, but like I feel like there's a happy medium between people that like work on their bed with a laptop and like, I don't know, we all make pretty good money in tech. Not all. Okay. That was not true. People in the US make a lot of money in tech. So I feel like spending like 0.5% of that on a home office that you really like to be in. I love having a space. And so we've got the room next door is my wife's office. We're making it we did mine and now we're doing hers. Just having a space in your house, it's kind of like your little sanctuary. It's nice.
Yeah, no, it's really important. And you can like build it up over time. I've never felt bad about investing in that stuff because literally all my money physically comes out of the space. So
Yeah, exactly. It feels like a good investment. I hate using like ROI. Feels like there's a good ROI on investing in my office.
No, like, yeah, people like have like shitty chairs they sit on and it's like, you spend so much time there. It's like, if you break it down by the number of hours, it's like pennies that you're spending on it. But yeah, and just build up over time. Like my setup has been built up over so many years and it's super nice now. And everything just feels like a downgrade if I work anywhere else.
Okay. You're going to love our guest coming up. Excellent guest. Really top notch. Okay, so we got Melkey coming on, but before Melkey comes on, I do wish I was anonymous. I wish I had gone the Primogen route and or the Melkey route and just used a pseudonym. Do you wish that?
Yeah, I do.
Feels like it's too late, but is it not? Maybe it's not too late.
It's too late.
Okay, it's too late.
It's too late. I thought about this too, and I kind of wish I did that. I initially started to, but when I first joined SST, but it felt really, I don't know, it just felt kind of awkward that I was anonymous, but like talking about a company. I think it makes it in hindsight now, actually wouldn't have been weird, but I think we were just kind of overthinking it.
Yeah, it's I guess it is a little different for you with SST, but I see these people who are completely anonymous, don't even have pictures of them. Who's that AJ guy that made that card app? It's this very mysterious figure that nobody knows who he is.
The card app?
He has this whole, it's a whole indie hacker kind of, but it's pretty successful, I think, it's website builder. And he's hired people. It's grown enough but he's completely anonymous. Nobody knows who he is.
That's kind of nice.
And Twitter, he's just AJ, and it's some cartoon avatar thing. I'm jealous.
Yeah. And
then do you ever think about just making a second social presence that's completely anonymous and no one would know it was you? You know what I mean? You could completely, they'd know from you because they'd be all these derogatory _ tweets. They'd be well, that's Dax for sure. Nobody else is such a jerk. Sorry, I keep hammering home that's your online persona, but you kind of invited it.
Just keep doing it. I want to really establish it.
Does it feed you? It just feeds you.
I don't want anyone else getting in on it. I want it to be very clearly my zone.
I can't think of anybody else that's as abrasive as you on Twitter. Can you? I can't think of anybody. I think you got it to yourself.
Awesome. I love it.
So when we do the trade thing where you take over my Twitter and I take over yours, just don't say anything that's going to get me in real big trouble. Okay. I feel like we need to lay some ground rules here. You could do some things that would be damaging to me.
I'm not participating in those ground rules.
It's got to be completely open for any.
I'm going to get you 100% canceled.
Oh, you will.
It's going to be so easy.
Oh, well, yeah. Anybody could get anybody canceled if they had control of their social accounts. It would not take very long, 2 tweets max.
No, but it's got to be believable.
Yeah, that's the second tweet is this is not a joke. You just say whatever. And then is Melkey still coming? I think Melkey's coming. The anonymous Melkey.
He's updating Chrome.
Oh yeah, Riverside, you have to use Chrome. That's a funny. That's how you have to deploy ACM certs and USC Swan or whatever. It's weird arbitrary restrictions. That whole thing. Or CloudFront. What is it? CloudFront SSL certs? I don't know.
Yeah, everything that's a global service control plane is in USC Swan, so you have to deploy it.
Yeah,
in USC Swan. Man, the cross-region stuff is really, really causing some nightmares for me.
Ooh, do tell while we wait on the mysterious Melkey.
It's a tweet that I posted the other day. Regions is a great idea because it gives you control over isolation. You have very strong control over what runs in what region, and it's good. That's how you get reliability. If you have stuff in 2 regions, you know that there's very little dependency between the two. But I hate that all the IAC tooling to spin stuff up in the correct way, CloudFormation, CDK, whatever. Those also follow region restrictions. CloudFormation can only spin up stuff in its own region. And I'm that doesn't make sense to me because that should represent your app and all of your infrastructure, which might go across one or many other regions.
Yeah.
Which is how Terraform works. Whenever I bring up this topic, people are always that's impossible. That wouldn't work. But this is just how Terraform works. Terraform lets you coordinate stuff across many regions. Millions of companies, I don't know what their number is. At massive scale, it's being used and it's completely fine. And in the AWS version, you have all these weird hacks where if you're deploying something in US East 2 and you need an ACM certificate, they spin up a temporary Lambda to then spin it up in the other region, and they pretend it's in the same region. It's just it's such a mess.
Yep.
And it is not great. And with that fascinating topic,
we went from the dumbest, driest topic ever to Melkey's here.
Taking a break from posting on Threads.
Yeah, dude, I went off last night. I was posting every 30 seconds. I didn't have no filter. I had no filter. Yeah. I'm yo, nobody's here yet. Might as well try to hit it big.
Great because I was telling Adam earlier, my feed was just complete straight garbage. What's your feed like? Is it garbage or is it good?
No, it's garbage. It's like I get frustrated. Like I see trash a lot. I'm like, bruh, I see this guy enough on Twitter. Like I talk to this man enough. I don't want to see him on a new platform, you know? So I'm just like, I'm trying to avoid him. And it's just like a bunch of celebrities and shit.
Bullshit.
So I'm just like, eh.
Did you have an existing Instagram account, Melkey? Like, were you on Instagram before this?
I have a personal account, but I do not tie any personal stuff to Melkey. What you guys were talking about earlier, like the separation between, I have a personal account, and I was like, there is not a chance in hell I'm gonna let any of these people know anything about my life. So I'm just making a separate one.
So your name is not Melkey. I just learned this today.
Yeah, my name is Alex.
Oh, you don't have to tell.
Mox.
Hey, whoa. Are you okay with that being out there?
Yeah.
Because I mean, we have a lot of listeners. Like a lot of listeners. I'm just kidding.
That's fine.
Not really.
Alex Mox.
I can't believe your name is not Melkey. That's blowing my mind.
I think my name is dope.
Oh, I love
It is
Melkey.
cool.
Yeah.
Short names.
Huh. You're the second person that's come on with that exact background. Did you steal that from Teach?
Did I steal it from Tej? No, Tej stole it from me, man. I was.
So Tej, for context, Tej used a picture of Melkey's background, but like he's on a green screen, so he came on the podcast with the Melkey background.
Yeah, he did the same thing when he was on. I think it was like another podcast, and he just keeps using my background, and I'm like, bro, what the hell?
I love it so much.
And he doesn't even tell me. I literally had to see it, like. I just see the podcast release. I just see Tej using my background. And I'm like,
dude, he's about to steal your identity. Maybe you shouldn't give him it. He just needed your name. That was the last step. He's got everything else.
Yeah, he got the aesthetics and everything. So
yeah.
Ooh, the pour over. Look at that, Kim X. I even know these things.
The thing with the Instagram link is funny because now I can go look at people's Instagrams and it's just funny as hell because I feel like I think in Instagram, you like curate a vibe because you're always just posting like the best pictures. So you have like, I think people have like a cooler vibe than what they actually are. But I know these idiots from Twitter. So then when I look at them on Instagram, like this juxtaposition is so funny because like all their friends think they're like super cool. But I know what they really like is their real self comes out on Twitter.
Dude, it's so funny. I see so many people who didn't want to go the route of like restarting a new Instagram account. And so their names are like the ultimate hiker. Or like, but like on Twitter, he's like that tech dude 177. And I'm just like, bro, like there's too much of a cross pollination occurring.
I know. It's like people's identities from 10 years ago are showing up again. It's like the thing they were into back then.
Dude, like even Theo, like his Instagram is like fully skateboard. So it's like fakey Bigfoot. And then on Twitter, it's all like Theo. So I'm just like, okay. This is gonna be interesting.
Dude, and knowing him, I know the lack of it matching up is frustrating the hell
crazy,
out of him.
surely.
So I'm like wondering, I'm wondering what his plan is there. Let's move on to your address and like where do you work and
should I repeat my social insurance number 2 for you guys?
Social insurance. What is that? Is that some Canadian shit?
Oh, my bad. It is. What's the
I thought you were in America. We just had July 4th, man. Come on.
Wait, are you actually from Canada?
Yeah, I'm a 2-time immigrant, bro.
Oh, you've moved to the US? You live in the US now?
Yeah, immigrate to Canada and then I immigrate to the United States of America, baby.
Baby. Where did you migrate from, or where you went to Canada from where?
Russia.
Russia? Like you born in Russia?
Hell yeah.
Wow. How long did you live there?
For like 4 or 5 years.
Do you remember anything about Russia? Is it like cold? A lot of vodka at a 4 or 5 years old?
Yeah, all of that. My parents are still very, very like I grew up in a very Russian household, extremely. Like my parents are like don't like they didn't really adapt too much to the
Canadian
westernized society, I suppose. But we've been here for a long time. But yeah, so I remember Russia itself. Sometimes it's been a minute since I visited, like first year university, so I haven't been there much. But like culturally, like I grew up very, very Russian.
And then how old were you when you moved from Canada to the US?
This was last year, dude.
Oh, really? Wow. Wait, do you live? You don't have to like tell us exactly, but you live in California, like Twitch stuff?
No, I live in Seattle. I moved. I grew up in Toronto. Then I went to Vancouver, and then from Vancouver I went to Seattle because it was like a 3-hour drive.
Oh, that's close.
So that's gonna be pretty seamless. Exactly.
Oh, you grew up in Toronto. The other two founders of SSC, they're in Toronto right now.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, Toronto's beautiful. I love Toronto. The food there is absolutely beautiful, and like the people are great. It's cold as hell, but
Yeah,
It's awesome.
Is it even that cold? Because when I was in New York, whenever I would check the weather, it was like 2 degrees different from New York.
No, it gets cold, man. Like Toronto definitely gets really cold. Like the winters are. I mean, last 2 years haven't been that cold. Global warming maybe like pollution or something.
Toronto's gonna be a paradise in a couple of years.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna get those beaches up. But yeah, no, I remember like I went to school a little bit north, like university, like a little bit north of Toronto, and like we get like I don't know what it is in American units, but negative 40 degrees Celsius, which is very cold. I think it's still negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Actually, I think
that sounds like a lot.
Can somebody calculate that?
Yeah, I think it's actually the same. It's the same in Fahrenheit.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
It's the same in Fahrenheit.
Whoa!
Yeah.
How's that work?
I don't want to think about it. It's too complicated.
That's so
I haven't
crazy.
done math like that in like 15 years.
Yeah, we're programmers. We don't do math. We don't need that.
Have we mentioned that Melkey works at Twitch? I feel like we should mention that Melkey works at Twitch.
Yeah, he's got a wrench. He's got the wrench in chat.
Mm-hmm.
This is before like I met any of you two, like Dak, Adam, but like so I started streaming way before I worked at Twitch. And I was just like some random dude just streaming that Prime liked. That was essentially like the story. Like Prime just liked me and he kept rating me and like that was it. And then somehow I got a job at Twitch. So it was such a cool thing that I just became this random like bro making like shitty apps to actually getting the wrench. And everyone's like, how, like, I remember the memes that came out of it. It's like, yo, if Melkey can get a job at Twitch, like, damn. Like,
Were you always a software engineer?
nah, I'm a self. So I went to school for mechanical engineering, and like I hated it. It paid like marbles and like crumbs from a cracker, and I was like, nah, this can't be it, dude. I remember one discussion I had, and it was like I was talking to this dude when I was doing a co-op in a mechanical engineering company, and he's like, oh, like, you know, if you work really hard in 10 years, you'll be making like, you know, 100K. And I'm there like 19 years old, and I'm like, in 10 years, only be making 100K. I'm like, there's no way. Like, I can't do that. And I was saying like, that's a great amount of money, but I just wanted to be a little bit more aggressive to hit that goal, I think. And last semester, I just stopped. Like, I just graduated, and then I didn't do anything, and I just programmed. I just learned. I went straight into machine learning because I didn't have enough time to get into like a proper back end or front end job because I had to pay off my student loans. I had to pay rent. Like, I had to move quick. So I was like, what's the hottest field right now? That was machine learning. So before I could even write like a class like object-oriented programming, I knew how to create a neural network. And I just went deep into, like, that's all I did. I just went deep into that, and that was it. That's how I got where I am today.
You went straight to Twitch?
I went straight to a startup that hired me as their lead ML engineer, and I was like, this is such a bad idea. like I was like, guys, like, this is like, are you sure? Like, I was so open in the interview. I was like, I just graduated, no work experience. Like, I'm gonna be kind of making it up as I go. And like, no, we like that. You know, you bring this element to the game. And I was like, okay. But yeah, that startup got acquired. So then I moved to Twitch.
They didn't get acquired by Twitch, did they?
No, they got acquired by like a company older than the printing press.
Is it IBM?
Whoa.
I swear to God. That's not even, I'm not even memeing, bro. Like, they were known for some shit they did with the printing press.
That's so random.
I know. The company's older than Canada, and that was like a sign I'm getting out of it.
So did you do the whole like Fang interview thing? Like, do you interview at Twitch or do you interview at Amazon? How's that work?
So I got hired at Twitch at the end of 2021, and at that time it was still very like Twitch-esque. So I went through like a Twitch loop, but it was like, it's pretty much it's like a derivative of the Amazon loop. You know, they may not be as strict on certain things, and they may allow like, you know, maybe not as strict on like tech stuff, and like if your personality shines more, they'll hire you. Nowadays though, it's way more influence on the Amazon loop. Like, it's pretty much a 1-to-1 to what an Amazon interview would look like.
The leadership principles and
yes,
all that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We play co-op, all that stuff.
What does your day-to-day look like at Twitch? Like, what do you're an ML guy, right? You're data something?
No, so my title at Twitch is ML infrastructure engineer, and I'm a tech lead for my team, which is called the personalization team. And what we try to do is we try to create services on Twitch using ML that personalize a person experience. So obviously it's like recommendations, like things that you see, and also a branch of that just kind of dropped in our lap was like fraud. So we everything to do with fraud, we battle it. So it's kind of like we try to personalize the experience, and we do a lot of fraud prevention stuff. And so me particularly, like my bread and butter is like creating new services and putting them out there. Like I'm not really like, once a service gets made, I kind of roll off and I let someone else maintain it, and like I kind of like facilitate the maintenance of it, I suppose. But my specialty is like, okay, we have this idea, so I created like the TDD, the design document, and then I implement it. So I get like a team, I get some people to execute kind of my architecture, and then I kind of just launch that in production. And I do that like, so every quarter it's like one big project, and we keep kind of going.
That is my dream job. I want to just start stuff and not have to finish it.
You literally
that's
have
my
that job right
dream
now,
in
Adam.
life. I mean, kind of. But I don't get paid to do that.
You can do whatever you want, bro.
But like, I don't get, like, I would love to just be able to be like starting new things that live on, not like new things that just die and then I wasted my time.
The coolest service I own, and I use that term very loosely because like like now it's under my control and like it is my service, but it's called it's when someone gives you guys gifts, and it's like, let's say someone gives you like 20 gifts.
Hang on,
or like
Dax, has anyone ever given you a gift? Do you know what that is on Twitch?
I hope not. No
Are
one
you
gives
aware?
Dax
Literally
gifts.
on my leaderboard, Adam. You give me 37 gifts right there.
I forgot. Sorry.
Adam,
Okay,
bro,
sorry.
stop.
Continue.
I was so mad when I saw all you guys give Dax subs. I was like trying to stop that. I was like, yo, stop gifting to
It helped
subs.
me. People were going harder every time you said that. So
Dude, I don't learn my lesson. I do the same with trash. I'm like, guys, stop giving trash subs, and people keep doing it. I just leave. I'm like, this always
it's
backfires.
upsetting.
Yeah,
it's upsetting, especially when it's trash. It's upsetting.
it's so upsetting. But yeah, so whenever there's like a large amount of gifts, so like anything over 10 or 5, like 20, whatever, it's always like, who gets those gifts, right? And like, it's pretty easy to think like, oh, it'll just be people in chat or, whatever. But really, like, the purpose of the gifting system is to actually get a gift, and then we want that person to convert to being a sub themselves.
I see.
Right? So it's not all about hitting it to the person who's talked the most in your chat that day or the person who's come up and said something funny. It's like we try to actually use ML to determine who are the best candidates to be to convert themselves.
Yeah, most of them don't, just in my experience.
You're doing a terrible job, Melkey.
keep working
Try
on it, because
God damn.
Do you guys like build all your own stuff, or do you like leverage all the Amazon services and things like that for ML?
No, we don't do any Amazon. Like, the only stuff we use Amazon is like, obviously there's a suite called Amazon Builder Tools, which is like their internal tooling for like their pipeline systems and like their internal like compiler and all that stuff. But in terms of like their ML stuff, no, we don't do anything like that. We just kind of build our own stuff in house and like use existing systems and stuff like that.
Do they like want you guys to integrate deeper, or do they not care?
Yeah, they do. They definitely want Amazon influence. Especially, do you remember that big? Were you guys there when we got that big leak, the Twitch leak, all of our source code?
What? No, the source code.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
Did I hear about this? I don't think so. Source code?
Okay, so so all of Twitch source code leaked at the end of 2021. All of it. Like, there was a massive leak. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. So every code, every commit was out on GitHub, and like it was a whole scramble to like get it out of it. You can imagine, right? But ever since then, there's been a more a change in thought by leadership that we want to get more Amazon tech to avoid anything like that in the future.
Interesting.
Why does that avoid it in the future? Because Amazon stuff is more locked down?
Yeah, more locked down. There's a little bit more provision. There's a little bit more steps to, get things in production. And it's just
definitely a lot of more steps. Like, do you use like code commit? Like the actual like Git replacement or GitHub replacement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So if it leaked on there, no one would know because nobody goes to code commit.
This is the reason look at that. How old is he now?
11 weeks.
God.
This is the new junior on my team.
What's the dog's name? Dax, you know this dog?
Yeah, that's his dachshund.
You just act like you have a relationship. Like, how old
I
is
know
the dog
his title.
now?
His title is Prince of Darkness, but I forgot the first part of it.
Yeah, it's Honeydew, Prince of Darkness, Mox.
Honeydew, Prince of Darkness.
You are really good at naming things. Melkey,
Thank you.
Honeydew, Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, I wanted to go Honeydew, Prince of Darkness, Mohammed Mox, but
wow,
that wasn't. I got lucky with the Prince of Darkness. I didn't want to push my luck.
They approved it. They approved the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah. It's on his insurance too. It's literally like his legal name is Prince of Darkness. All his legal documents
Wow.
have it.
That's funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah, my dog has like a legal passport. It's funny as hell.
Dogs can get passports?
There's like a canine passport. Yeah.
They have to have it to travel?
I think I've told you about this before, but I'm gonna say it again. So he was born in Serbia, and
I knew that.
They brought him over here when he was a puppy, but European airlines don't fly Dobermans, so it's like it's like a policy.
You have told me this.
Oh.
Yeah, the racist European airlines.
I didn't know your dog is from
Serbia.
Where's?
He's like kind of Russian.
Is that close to Russia? Yeah.
Yeah, nearby.
I know that because of GoldenEye 007. Like, isn't that like something's in Serbia? No, it's Siberia. Sorry, continue.
All right, it's on the other side. So he has a passport, but it's like a fake passport because it has a different breed name in it. It has a Manchester Terrier, which is when they're puppies, Dobermans. I'm sorry.
Should you be leaking this information? Imagine
The cops are come to my house and take Zuko. Yeah.
They're like, hey, we heard. Can we check his passport for a second? Because I'm pretty sure this is a fucking Doberman here.
Yeah. So it says Manchester Terrier, and as puppies they look the same, but Manchester Terriers are like 30-pound dogs as adults, but as puppies they look exactly the same. So he's got like he's got a Serbian passport with like doctored breed information on there.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like one of those pitchers that's like 6'4" in like Little League.
Yeah.
Like, let's see that
I am
bird
13.
certificate. Yeah.
I am 13 years
Yeah,
old.
exactly.
Yeah.
The breed's like a little poodle. Then Zuko shows up as giant Doberman. Dad's like, yeah, what's up? Is there a problem? It's like,
Yeah. You know, we were talking about because me and Liz are like always toying with the idea of getting a second dog. And we can't get another Doberman because it would just be ridiculous, like 2 giant dogs in our house and like on our bed and all
Dobermans,
that.
yeah.
But we want to get a dog that kind of looks like a Doberman. So we're talking about getting a Dachshund potentially because they got the same
yo,
colors.
they're the best. Yeah, Dachshunds are the best.
tiny
That
one.
dynamic seems like
It's
a
so
cartoon, like the start of like a Disney movie or something, like a big Doberman and a little like Dachshund. But I highly recommend. They're stubborn, man.
Tell me more about Dachshunds. What's their personality like? I don't know anything.
Yeah, I'm a huge Dachshund fan. My favorite animal is the long-haired Dachshund,
Oh.
like this guy. Yeah, so like I think Dax, I told you, like my family dog, the one I grew up with, was he was an 18-year-old long-haired Dachshund who passed away in October. But 18 years old, like this guy was like the man, you know, the alpha of the alpha. But their personalities, like they're super stubborn. They eat a lot. They can be dicks, man. Like I won't lie, they can be like. They can be dicks for sure.
I mean, little dogs in general, little dogs are kind of more high strung. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. But dude, I don't know. They're an incredible companion, and like they'll always have your back. Like this morning, me and Honeydew fought the vacuum cleaner, and he was right there with me the whole time. He wasn't like me and him. It was like me and him are doing this, and we defeated the vacuum monster.
Dude, those little dogs. Yeah, whenever there's like a big dog and a little dog in the same house, the little dog's always the one that's in charge. So if we get a smaller one, we know that Zuko's going to be number 2, not number 1.
Dude, you make Zuko look so hard with the vest, the chain, like the pictures you take of him. I think of this guy's like a mafia like boss, just like smoking cigars and shit.
That's the whole purpose we have him. We need to make sure that people just think he's scary as fuck and no one like messes with their house. So it's all fake. It's all fake. It's a persona. He's not.
The grass is fake. The dog is fake. It's all fake.
Yeah, he's starting to get a little bit more, turning him a little bit more into a guard dog, like kind of like watching around and like barking at people outside and things like that. But he's like so gentle and like, I don't even, if someone attacked me, to be honest, I don't know if he would really do anything. I think he would like be overwhelmed emotionally. I don't know if he's like gonna kick in and do anything. But on pictures, like, yeah, we gotta scare people away.
Do you think you could take him on like a 1v1?
I can wrestle him.
Just like, yeah, 1v1. You guys are like locked into like a UFC ring.
I mean, we wrestle a lot. We wrestle a lot, and when he starts to get really amped up, yeah, it's like too much. He's got so many sharp points. He's got his like teeth, and his like claws are super sharp. He's got the like little dew claw thing on the side. That shit like comes in out of nowhere and nicks. I got like scratches all over my body from wrestling him, so definitely could not take him.
Yeah, I have again. Honeydew is comparable to Zuko. I'd say,
Similar
like,
size,
size-wise.
yeah.
Similar. Look at this guy. But yeah, he bites, and I have like bite marks all over my arms, just scratched up everywhere. It's crazy.
Dude,
so
puppy teeth are so sharp.
they are. They are. And this guy just loves biting. He only has two moods. It's a cuddle, which is this one, or biting. There's nothing in between.
Yeah, so go had that phase too. But yeah, he's like kind of becoming an adult now. He's like pretty chill and just hanging out most of the time.
You should get a kid. I mean, you should have a kid.
we
not
have
get
kids.
a kid. Have a kid.
He's got a kid right there on his lap, and mine is sleeping on the ground next to
I'm
me.
saying like I used to have a dog, and we have all the pictures. Like we dressed him up, the whole thing. You're very into your dog, but then you have a kid, and you don't think about dogs anymore. I'm not saying your dogs aren't important. I'm just saying you should try having a. And also, you just said they were expensive. You should have a kid. You'll learn.
I'm gonna have a kid after Dax has a kid. That's like the age lineage thing. So like he has to do it, and then I'm next. Because all you guys have them, you know, like Trash, Prime, Adam. You guys all have kids already.
There
So
definitely is an order, and I do feel like I'm next. I'm definitely next.
I mean, the ages match up. Yeah.
I'm like
your early 30s.
I'm like in that group of like that called the old man group. I'm like in that group. But I don't have kids, so I'm definitely next. And then one day, these guys. I'm picturing like all of the people on Twitter like having children. Like imagine like Theo having children. I'm just like, what the hell is that going to be like?
I hope I'm not still on it when that happens. I hope I'm like I've retired from the game at that point. You know?
No, dude. I want to see a world where we're all just talking about our kids, and it's just like I just can't imagine it at all.
Making tech content, our kids are just like.
Are your kids already like that, Adam?
They don't know what I do. I mean, they don't have any idea. My son, my 8-year-old, has been coming in the office and doing his homework, like his schoolwork. We're homeschooling him. So he like sits in the corner and does his little workbook. And he's just now at 8 started asking questions like, what exactly is it that I'm doing in here? He really likes my office. It's a fun place to be, but like he's never really put thought into like I'm actually working in here. So no, not to the point where he has any idea that I like turn on a camera and talk to people.
We're talking about like the kids knowing what you do. Like, do your friends or like your close friends, not like your obvious like your Twitter community, whatever. Obviously, they know what you guys do, but do your actual like friends know that you guys are like content creators on like Twitch or Twitter, or YouTube, whatever?
I don't know. I mean, they definitely must come across some of this stuff. I don't really know what they make of it. I think a lot of them find it funny because it's like obviously when you know someone, like you've known them forever, and like suddenly they have like this different thing that they're doing. It's definitely funny. So my close friends, a lot of them are engineers, so they're like in our circle. So they obviously know and they get it, but the transition has been funny for everyone, I think, to witness.
Yeah, I mean, like my closest friends, I've maybe had like 2 friends. Like
You
not like
had
I'm not
2
looking
friends.
for
That was a
sympathy.
past tense.
And we're here with you. It's me and Dax. We're here.
No, like to friends that aren't in tech. The closest ones definitely know what I do. I don't know if they like consume any of it. They probably don't. But like my neighbors, like the people around me physically, because even my friends aren't really here. They have no idea what I do. Like I would never try to explain. Like I try and explain that I'm a programmer. Like I write software, but I would never say like, and then I do it on Twitch and I show other people that I write software. Like that's just never happening.
The funniest for me is still Liz's friends when they come over and they like walk by my office and they're like, what the fuck? Like, what is all that shit in there? Like they do not understand at all. Even like my normal job, just being like a software engineer, that I think they get that vaguely, but then this stuff, it just doesn't. It's just like, it is, they just don't even comprehend it as a thing. It just seems super weird to them.
I'm super embarrassed every time like the cleaners are here and they clean in my office, and I just know they're thinking. They never say anything, but I just know what they're thinking. Like
that's so embarrassing when your private cleaners come to clean your.
I just mean like a lot of people have their house clean. That's not like too uppity, is it?
Use a plural. To use a plural. So for me,
well, because different people work at the company.
I have a cleaner that comes. Like I have a cleaning lady that comes.
One person is cleaning. Okay. But that's a rotation. Different people, you know. Okay.
I pictured, when you said cleaners, I immediately pictured like a van with a bunch of people in all white, like with all this gear, and they come out and they're like just dusting
that's
everything.
what I pictured. Yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised you don't have that, to be honest.
Does that exist? Because it sounds kind of nice. I mean,
to be honest, if you lived in like a real place and not in Ozarks, a real place. You'd probably be going even crazier. I feel like I
wouldn't be able to afford it. Like if I lived in a real place, my senior tech money salary would not cover any of this. It's just I live in a very cheap place, so I have a nice house. You know, that's the trick. You just got to live in the Midwest.
Well, I think you are definitely bottlenecked by, like, you definitely have desires that you're bottlenecked by. Because I know you want this private chef concept, and you just can't find someone.
I would love that. Yeah, can't find. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
it is tough. We're limited here, and I don't know. I've got people that do my lawn. I've got people that water my plants, and I've got people that clean my house. I've been able to find those people.
Nice.
But if anybody knows a private chef in the Ozarks, I would love a recommendation, because that's the one area we spend so much of our life. Maybe when you have kids, maybe that's the thing. When you have kids, half your life is just preparing, eating, and cleaning up food. That's like basically your whole life. So if we could just automate that, that's the last frontier.
Just give them Soylent.
Oh my God. It's so funny because you actually did the Soylent thing. So I love now
I didn't do
knowing
the
that.
Soylent thing.
You did the Soylent. You told me it fell out of your backpack. What was it doing in there?
I had it around because sometimes I would have it for breakfast and sometimes I would be in between meals and I'd be hungry. So I wasn't like replacing all my meals with Soylent. Okay.
Melkey, do you even know what Soylent is? Is that like
No,
a generation?
I don't know.
He doesn't
Oh my
even
God.
know.
Melkey
That's
was
like
13
we're
when
like
Soylent
old
came out.
millennials. Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I just eat meat, man. That's
Dude,
like
I love your pictures.
Yeah. It was like you're like Ken Wheeler in Training is with the meat pictures.
Yeah. I've said this before. Ken Wheeler is like my final evolution. Like I can already see what I'm going to be. So
I mean, it looks great.
Soylent was like, can you explain it, Dax? You're a consumer of Soylent.
I mean, it's just like a protein drink, but it was marketed in this like very like tech bro way where it was like it's made from genetically modified algae, and the bottle was like completely white and all minimal, and it was like a bunch of like tech people were just like drinking it for every single meal and like shitting like a brick of poop. It wasn't good.
You don't have to waste time thinking about nutrition anymore. Don't waste any more seconds of your life.
People that are so busy and so focused on programming, they can't make decisions like...
You can't make fun of it, Dax. You consumed it. You fell for it.
I didn't fall for it. God damn it. I regret telling you that story. The story I told
really
Adam was
story.
I was on my electric longboard. Okay. Check number one.
Dude, okay, this is great. Like,
it's a really good story.
I was in New York and I was riding everywhere. I hit a pothole and I fell. And I was also wearing a backpack. Check number two.
Herschel,
and then my backpack, a Herschel backpack, exactly, because this was 2015.
Of course.
My backpack opened and my MacBook flew out and 2 bottles of Soylent flew out. And this fucking like macho construction guy saw and like he helped me up and like he like bandaged me and I just felt like such a loser. I was like, God damn, this could be a scene in Silicon Valley. Like
he's like he yoinks you up. He's like, I got you.
Not good.
Melkey, thank you so much for coming. This was so good. I think it's really good to just have people in chat that just pop in. This is fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys for just being so open to it.
We were struggling. I'll be honest. We were not having. We had nothing to talk about.
Me and Didn't really want to talk to each other today, so
yeah, we just kind of don't like it. Yeah,
talk too much.
Yeah, we literally talk just on this like 3 or 4 hours every week.
I guess it is just here. Yeah, we don't like do calls that we don't record.
I'm happy about it. It's just, sometimes it's hard to come up with stuff to talk about.
Well, I'm more happy about it. I'm the most happy about our relationship. So
you guys have a dope podcast. I'm glad to be a part of it for a little bit.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Hey,
appreciate it.
Thanks, Melkey, whose name isn't Melkey, that we won't say the name of again.
Melkey.
Just Melkey.
We're gonna end it.
All right. See ya.
It's been good. See you, Dax.
All right. Do I like what? Do I just leave? Like, is this...
Yeah, I think this is the part we haven't nailed yet. We haven't nailed the landing. We're not so good at exiting. We just kind of say bye.
Bye.